Tom LeVecchia here with the continuation of the New Theory podcast series. I had some pretty big players on. Nathan Chan, founder of Founder Magazine, 2 million followers online. Nathan Lacka, the largest and the most probably wealthiest by podcast terms, made over $1 million in podcasting alone, and proprietor of the top podcast, had him on yesterday. We had Jared Glant and Grant Cardone on, and we had some other big players, but I have to tell you, I'm probably equally, or if not more excited about this next guest. We will call her at the Handy J of Instagram fame. Handy J, how are you today?
I'm good. How are you?
Very well. Have you ever gotten an introduction like that before?
That was good.
Sweet. Okay, so we're going to jump right in, right? So for those people who do not follow her, and she's just north of 435,000 followers on her Instagram alone, I'm gonna read your byline. I'm gonna read it. Just a jerk off. Get it. Snapchat DM for inquiries, promos, credit, and marriage requests. Green cards as usual. And you were featured in Fortune. So I like to start with the formative years. Where did you grow up? Where were you born? Where did you grow up? And tell us a little bit about yourself.
I was born in Washington, D.C., and grew up in Maryland. And I was there until I went to the University of Miami in Florida for undergrad and grad school.
Okay, because I noticed the MSED, so I'm assuming a master's in education, correct?
Uh-huh.
From Miami?
Yes.
Damn, you don't fuck around, huh? Wow, okay. So, all right, I have to imagine, and I'm just going to say it, I have to imagine that being a nice girl, D.C., Florida, masters in education, right? And listen, I ain't knocking the hustle. I invited you for the record. I invited you on the show, so I ain't knocking the hustle. But how do you go from being a master's in education to basically being the godmother of fuckboys?
It's a hard job, but somebody's got to do it.
All right. How'd you start?
I was working as a life coach with couples in trouble, breakup recovery. I got super burnt out, and I just kind of realized that all people had like the same 10 problems. Everybody was dealing with the same stuff, and I just got burnt out and started, blogging and making kind of a mockery of the paradigms and dating rules and whatnot, and it just kind of took off from there.
Okay, so you had a decision, right? And we have a lot of people on the show, and I'm going to ask you to check out other podcasts because you're a successful person, but also you probably relate to other people's journeys. You could have wrote a book. You could have kind of went, right, but you went left. So was it more of a business opportunity? Was it because you were burnt? You're like, fuck it, let's have some fun. What was the initial catalyst for the Handy J?
It was definitely just supposed to be fun. I did not think of it as didn't ever think I could make money off of it, or that I would ever have this many followers. It was definitely a way to just for people to be able to laugh at themselves and kind of the new, everything I'd learned in marriage and family therapy and whatnot, and had all these dating rules and ways to get the guy and wanting the guy, and the game had changed. So I just wanted a way to put out to as many people as possible my take on it.
Got it. All right. So let's start the foundation because I'm like a fanboy, so this is going to be good. All right. Content. It seems curated, but is it mostly curated, or is it original content done by you to make it look like it's curated?
It's mainly curated at this point. Okay. Initially, I was like doing my own content, and at this point, the followers come regardless. And there's so much good content out there, and it just doesn't. I'm lazy.
That's actually a good point. So I started newtheory.com and I got a lot of money in, and I pissed through it by having like 8 people. I had a graphic designer, I had a developer, I had 2 staff writers, 2 part-time writers, an SEO person. I had all these people, right? And I was basically burning through like $20,000-$30,000 a month. And then I had to shit can everybody, and I'm doing it kind of like me, my girlfriend, and like one other person. And like we're actually killing it right now because we're just doing like the content that we love and we're having fun. And we're finding out that it doesn't have to be original content. So
no one cares where you got it. Like, it's just like a hit show. People don't care if it's on HBO or Netflix. It doesn't matter. Wherever it is, they're going to go watch it. So it doesn't matter if I post anybody else's content all day long. I never have to post an original thought again, and the following will still grow as long as I'm good at picking content that is relatable and funny.
Now, and I kind of get roasted, as you will, sometimes when I curate content, and my one sentence to that or comment to that is world star hip hop, right? They're the largest curators, right, in the world. All right, when did you realize when it went from being, and we're like gonna have some fun, but I want to kind of like set this up, right? When did you realize, holy shit, this isn't like fucking around? Like I can make some real money off this. Like when was that turning point when you hit that combustion pop? Boom, this could be big.
Someone from Burger King had contacted me asking if I wanted to do a campaign for them, and I didn't really like negotiate a good price or anything, so I was just so fucking flattered that Burger King wanted to advertise on my page.
Wow.
But once that had happened, I was like, well, holy shit, I could charge, if Burger King wants to advertise with me, if anybody else was, they're going to have to pay me good money.
Love it. And so here's the thing. You're advanced. You're a digital marketer. Let's call it as. You may not, you know what you're doing, whether you kind of stumbled upon it or you learned it or whatever, but you're an expert, right? On top of it, you're a medium in itself. So just for the people listening, whenever you kind of get a request in something like this, usually they pay you what is called CPM, or cost per 1,000. So if I were to call Handy J up as a digital marketer, if she has 400,000 real followers, she's roughly worth. Now remember, she's engaged followers, blah blah blah. You could probably get a grand post for as little as $500 for as much as $2,000. Does that sound about right from the offers you're getting from the bigger shops?
From the bigger shops, yeah.
Okay, because they're using a formula, right? I think you could get a premium on the higher side, and that's obviously what you're doing, hopefully. So that's kind of how you'd be approached. I'm giving you kind of like the buyer's perspective. All right.
Right.
So you put up some really nasty stuff, right? So you're curating. Like, are you like do you have like an assistant? Like, are you just sitting there, doing it yourself? Like, walk us through that. Walk us through the Handy J day, a normal day.
A lot of it is following with whatever's current events and mocking whatever's going on. We've had a lot of memes lately about the rompers or the male rompers. But for me, I think it's more of a mood thing. If I wake up and someone's ghosted me, or I just had a really great date, my mood is dependent on that. So
nice. Now
it's going to reflect that.
Nice. Now there's a few ways I want to skin this. Okay. So and we trust you're going to be honest because you seem like a straightforward person. In the digital marketing game, we actually depends on the campaign. We recommend some fake followers, fake liking, fake interaction up front to get it going, and sometimes a trick to engines, and the engines work for you. Be real candid. Did you buy any likes or followers or engagement at any point?
No.
So you were organic from the beginning?
Yes. Well, because originally it was just a personal account. It wasn't meant to be grown. So it wasn't even on my radar to, get more likes. I was just like, hoping my friends saw it.
Oh, shit. Okay, so you're growing at 400,000 followers. And how are you on Snap? What's your Snap numbers look like?
I think I'm at like 30, 40K now views.
That's a lot. So now let's talk about the financial, okay? So I noticed you don't have a website. I'm just going to give you, and you probably have this in the works, but as a digital marketer, you generally want like your platform to have a center, right? But I'm assuming
Mm-hmm.
right now your center is Instagram, correct?
Yes.
Okay, and then you do some Snapchat. Are you getting sponsored for both Insta and Snap, or just Insta only?
Insta and Snap.
Okay. Now, did this grow into a full time job? Or are you doing this full time?
I'm not doing it full time. It could absolutely be full time. I could totally support my lifestyle
Got
doing
it.
this.
Got it. So you're saying, okay, hey, I'm making a few bucks. I if I wanted to, I can pull the trigger and go deeper. But you're keeping your day job. Now, is this something because the Masters Handy J, normal person is like this shoe could drop at any time, or you're like, you know what, I love this. It's a hobby. I'm having fun, but I don't know if I want to look at dick pics all day. You know what I mean? Like walk us through the
Yeah,
balance.
I think it's more. Once anything becomes a job, it's just not as fun anymore. I personally enjoy, shaming fuckboys and giving my, tongue in cheek 2 cents all day long. But once it became probably mandatory in a time schedule and needing to be edited and whatnot, I probably wouldn't like it as much and I wouldn't
Got
do it
it.
anymore.
Now you seem like a very laid back person, pretty even keeled. There had to be one case where either celebrity reached out or shouted out or reposted where you just went fucking bananas. Did it happen at least once?
Yeah.
Who was it?
A few weeks ago, David Spade followed me and I got really excited.
That's pretty sweet. That's pretty sweet. All right.
Yeah.
So okay, we're gonna call this a hobby. We'll call you a hobbyist, right? A hobby
Right.
slash business. Like it's a hobby, but you're
It's a
making it
hobby that makes me money.
exactly. So which is good, right?
Right.
Now with the content that you post, and I'm not on Snap. Like I'm old, right? I'm 41. Like I'm an old like fat kid from Jersey. So it'd be weird if I'd be on Snap, right? But I see you post things on Insta from Snap. So
Mm-hmm.
you put guys on blast. So I'm just going to be real candid with the content that you post, right? I'm sorry, but like I can see you getting a lot of thirst. I think people might think, you're a hoe and all that kind of stuff based off of the nature of the content because people are not able to separate like business and personal. How do you deal with that?
Um, I don't mind that they think I'm a hoe and whatnot. They can think whatever they want. Like I said, I am making money off of it. It's funny to me. I am super laid back. I'm not offended easily. Anytime I talk shit to them and post it is merely to get everybody else laughing. I'm not like personally offended. It doesn't bother me.
Okay. We also talk about, there's America. I'm first generation. So very often there is the success pattern or journey, but then there's also like your life and friends, like your
Right.
parents, boyfriends, cousins, your uncle is a priest. Do they all know about the Handy J or is it like a semi-DL thing?
Everyone knows about the handy J.
Did you ever get shit for it or they were always supportive?
No, my family is like my biggest fans.
Oh,
They're
wow.
super supportive. If it gets any bigger, they'll be the ones managing all of it. So that, yeah, they're well aware that
Get,
um,
get the
boasting about giving blowjobs and being naked on the internet.
get the Handy J gravy train going. All right. So, all right, because I'm not on Snap, right?
Mm-hmm.
But you seem to post the pictures of you in the bathroom and kind of like a little bit more risque posts on Snap. Is that because you're looser with the regulations, or because it disappears, or
They're just looser with the regulations.
okay? Now, here, if I was consulting with you, I actually love what you're doing. You're picking your niche, you're picking your medium, you're owning it, right? And I love it. My only concern is if an algorithm for Instagram changes, or if just the littlest thing like changes, you're kind of fucked. How do you hedge against that?
Actually, the algorithm did already change, and it doesn't necessarily affect me. I'm private, so like hashtags and
Yeah.
getting on the explore page and whatnot is not of a concern to me. I'm growing without it, and so I am private. I don't people who are in the business world who are looking and doing the hashtags and the geotags and picking the best time to post and hoping they end up on the explore page doesn't apply to me because since I'm private, it would never end up on the explore page.
Important question, and actually, my girlfriend had this question too because she just followed you. She likes this other girl. I like you, both funny. But the point being is, she was like, "Hey, she's private." Question: Are you private? So like, there's less scrutiny on you. Like, why be private? Because I don't understand why you be private. Just out of curiosity.
I just think that more people are inclined to want to see something that not everyone can see.
Got it. Okay. Now let's get to the fun stuff. All right. So you're making
Who's
money.
the other account that your girlfriend likes?
What is it? JJ Cali Lady or something. She's kind of like your contemporary. Posts kind of the same stuff. She's gonna dig it. She's gonna dig it up. She's gonna dig it up right now. And then maybe we'll get her on, and then maybe she could talk about how you suck, and you can talk about how she sucks. Just kidding. She's JJ Cali.
Oh, yeah, I don't know her.
JJ Cali Lady. And well, she's not in your league, man. She only has 109,000 followers, right? But all right. So let's kind of get to okay. So let's talk about it. It's a fucking business, right? You're getting paid to post, and at first I know how it is. Not that it's embarrassing, but it's almost like you're getting paid to do shit, and you're like, holy fuck. And then after a while, I start paying. You're like, wow, yeah, this is a business, right? So just like anything else, it's dynamic. So with that being said. How do you make your money? Is it posts? Is it promos? Is it shout outs? Are you doing occasional posts? Give us your revenue. Give us your revenue. Sorry, let me cut you off. Give us your specific revenue streams.
Advertising and shout outs. Basically, I probably do 1 or 2 promos a day, charge a few $100 for it, and it's 7 days a week, 365 days a year, just like a few hundred. And it's Venmo or PayPal. It's easy.
Shit. So you're making like I'm gonna. You don't have to confirm, but I'm gonna guess you're probably charging whatever proposed. Let's say you're making $300-400 a day, 7 days a week. So we're gonna call it $100K a year. You're not killing yourself. You love what you're doing, and you like where it's at. But is there? There's got to be an itch to grow. There's got to be an itch at the million mark. There's got to be an itch to like you're at your work and your boss like a jerk off. You're like, really? Like I'm asking like a 5% raise.
I think the ego. Money. More money is always great, but more money comes with more ads, comes with more complaints from the masses, and it is a business. So you have to listen to them.
Got it. Now, okay, you were featured in Fortune, and now you're featured in New Theory, right? So you're featured in Fortune.
And entrepreneur.com.
That's sweet. I love it. So give us the real deal. Because here's the deal. Like I'm a digital marketer, right? And we grow our accounts organically. It's a pain in the fucking ass. I'm sorry. I gotta do S for S. I gotta pay people. Like it's almost not worth it. It's a pain in the fucking ass. Give us that.
Yeah, before the algorithm, if you didn't start growing the accounts before the algorithm kicked in, the latest one, I would gather it's virtually impossible to catch up. Okay. Without like paying good money.
Okay, so you hit the nail on the head, right? So bottom line is they're forcing you to boost, correct?
Yes.
All right. So give us
not me, but they're forcing the businesses to boot.
Got it.
To pay.
Got it. Okay, because I noticed you're not a business. Is that by design?
Not a business?
Yeah, I noticed that you're not a business account. Is that by design?
Oh yeah. I think you can't be private if it's a business.
Got it. Okay. So I got it. So that's your strategy. I'm just wondering. Okay, so now. Okay, so give us maybe 2 or 3 tactics that killed it and worked in the past that just don't work now. Even 1 or 2. Just like, hey, I did this, it just no longer works.
Hashtags don't work. Okay. I think you would rely on the timing. If you're you'd post during prime times, and now it doesn't matter because it's not chronological based on time.
It's not time dependent. Okay, then okay, let's just say I were to hire the Handy J to grow my business account in whatever vertical I'm in, right? So here's everybody talks about like content is king, all that shit. You know what? Like content is king, but fucking you can.
It's not really. I've seen a lot of really shitty huge accounts.
Well, exactly. So what? Give me if you could 1 or 2 hacks, post algorithm change, it actually still work?
I think the best way to get exposure is to like find people in your mutual niche and be shouting each other out. It doesn't cost you anything, and it's a win-win for both parties.
Okay, what about for you though? You outgrew a lot of your contemporaries. What happens now when the person's like, "Hey, Handy, I want to do an S for S," and like you're at 400,000, and they're at like 20,000? Do you respectfully decline, or you like kind of old school where you're like, you know what, I'll help whoever is a good person? How are you handling that?
I mean, they can't a lot. Thankfully for me, because it is on a personal level, a lot of the people I came in with have kept up and even surpassed me. I might be one of even on the smaller size for a lot of the accounts that I started with.
Got
I
it.
think because the Handy J is so polarizing, it doesn't grow as quickly as like a mainstream meme account, which is fine. But on a personal level, I've been lucky to my friends' successes have been, if not surpassed mine.
Love it, love it, love it. All right, so now we're almost done. We're going to do kind of a speed round. I'm going to ask you some questions. Some are going to be pretty direct, and you can answer them in one sentence or less. You could always decline, but one sentence or less. Most money you made in a day?
Like on one post?
Yeah.
I guess my best day, I probably did like 2,500.
Sweet. What's the most you lost in a day in your entire business life? One day, the most money you lost.
I haven't lost any money on Instagram.
Sweet. Have you ever banged a person who reached out through either Insta or Snap that you didn't know prior to them reaching out?
Yes.
Really?
Yeah. I mean, at this point, I'm solely meeting people via my Instagram and Snapchat.
Really? Okay. Boyfriend or married?
I'm single.
Single. Okay.
Never married.
Never married. How old are you?
32.
32. Okay. Best day of your life?
Best day of my life. I don't know. Today's a good fucking day.
Nice. Worst day of your life?
Worst day of my life. That'll probably be tomorrow now that I just said that.
If it is tomorrow, let us know. All right, this will be a little bit of a longer question. A lot of people that kind of post, they have it like their online personality, their offline personality. I'm just going to take a flyer here, and you're welcome to correct me. Your personal life seems a lot different than your like Handy J life, but the same token, you happen to be attractive to attract thirst. So how is Handy J as kind of an online, personality versus Handy J offline?
It's definitely the same attitude and sense of humor. It's really crass at all times and whatnot. As far as action wise, I mean, I'm definitely not out blacking out every single night or anything.
Got it.
Like I don't get nearly as many abortions as like my post would.
Now, where are you out of?
Make it seem.
Where are you out of? Because you're still out of Florida. Where are you out of now?
I'm out of LA.
You're out of LA. Oh, wow. Have you ever had any plastic surgery done?
Yes.
What done?
I've had my tits done.
Who did them?
Dr. Gershenbaum in Florida.
How many cc's did you get?
350 cc's.
Okay, that's reasonable. The reason why I ask is our parent company does a lot of promotions for plastic surgeons that are bi-coastal. So I was just wondering, how do you feel about plastic surgery?
I think if you want it, go for it. I mean, I love my tits, so... I just recently got my lips injected, and I thought I'd never do it, and now I would never not have it, so...
Who did you go to for that?
Dr. David Saya in Beverly Hills.
Got it. I'm surprised you didn't say Grant Stevens or who's the other guy out there, the dermatologist, shouldn't go to blank. Opion, whatever, Simon Orion. But anyway, they usually reach out to a lot of big Instagrammers. Now, are you getting a lot of free shit? Like, meaning like you could have got your lips done for free. Like,
yeah.
You could get okay. So
I definitely am. Anything I'm doing, I'm pretty much doing for free at this point.
Okay. So
memberships, lips injections, clothes, tickets, whatever.
And then you'll do a shout out in lieu of, or they still got to pay you, or how you doing it?
I'll barter for a service if it's like injections, like things that I want. I won't barter for like apparel, like t-shirts aren't paying my bills, but if I'm going to be doing my hair anyway, I'll absolutely like throw up an Insta story of the girl doing my hair. She'll do it for me for free.
All right. So let's, I always say this, if people are listening at this point, well, for you, I'm going to add a third category, either the family, they're interested in hearing the story, or they're a stalker, right? At this point, right? But let's talk about, let's appeal to the people that actually like your brand, like I do. What do you charge for a story? Give us a range. What do you charge for a regular post? And maybe give us around the world if I want Snapchat and story, and give us your price ranges.
Like just for a standard promo on my Instagram page.
Yeah, let's just say I said, hey, Handy J, I want to. What do you got for me? Give us your menu. So an Insta post, right? Insta story, and then Snap. So A, B, and C. How much A cost, B cost, C cost, and then all three together.
Most people aren't doing all of it, but I probably charge like $500 for a post on Instagram at this point. It's like a standard post. If someone wanted multiples, I would usually make a deal. But and then for Snapchat, I never really charge less than $200. But those have also been a little more personal. Like, hey, I have a dog that needs to be not killed in a shelter. I'm like much more inclined not to take money for that.
I like this. So you have a purpose. Well, okay. So I have two more questions. The first question / comment. The first is, it's kind of low. Now, I'm gonna probably call you later to buy some space. So don't give me a discount because I have you on the show, right? I'll help you get other shit done with plastic surgery, right? But your prices are kind of low. Is that to attract more volume? Is it you don't know any better, or you're just being reasonable? You're kind of low for your.
My market tends to be more like mom and pop companies, so like the girl on Etsy doesn't have all that much money, and I would much rather be shouting those companies out, especially if I like the product. A lot of the people contacting me, like you said, have been around following me since day one, so I feel like a personal connect. You know what I mean? When someone's like, I've been a fan since day one, and they know all the stuff about me. It's like, and I would really love it if you could shout out my new dick in a bag. It can't be like, There's also a lot of memers, and they're undercutting, and so you can only charge so much when they. 9 times out of 10, if I give my price, someone writes back, "Well, I know an account with 500,000 followers that only charges this much."
How do you handle that? You like, fuck you, go with them, or you'll play the long price?
You contacted me. I'm not begging for work, Yeah. I mean, because I haven't made it, and mentally it's not a business for me, so it's not whatever. But I mean, for me, I'm not bartering. It's not Marrakesh. Like, you go with them, and my account, while being a memer, happens to be my personal account. So I think my followers think they know me, which definitely lends itself to selling whatever I need to sell.
Got it. Now, did you consider, and maybe I'll give you an invite here, did you ever consider maybe having your own podcast or contributing to like a new theory or any upcoming kind of, did you ever consider growing your network and platform, or you're just happy staying in your lane, with Insta and Snap?
I'm happy staying in my lane, but I'm going to be probably starting a podcast pretty soon with your fuckboy. His account maybe close to 700,000 at this point, but he's starting a podcast, and I'm more than happy to go in on it, be on his podcast on my own. I'm good.
All right. Now, it seems that you were actually somewhat of a normal, well-adjusted person, and I assume either and you're not braggadocious about it, which I like, but there seems to be some causes there too. What are some of the causes you support, either publicly or privately?
The causes?
Yeah, shelter animals.
I mean, anything that's in the news. So, with the Manchester thing, I didn't post that day, but I was really adamant about people donating.
Nice.
For anything that's going to hit the news, that my followers tend to be worldwide, so I'd like to acknowledge things that are going on globally. But yeah, then definitely I would always take on any sort of dogs shelter things. That's for sure.
So you're more of a dog person than a cat person?
Definitely more of a dog person, but I'm just more of an animal person than I am a human person.
Got it, got it. Now, considering the nature of your content, any TROs yet? Any restraining orders officially or not yet?
No official restraining orders, but my brand is a lot of shaming people, so I'm not exactly the victim target that they're probably looking for. Even if I'm asking for it, even if it's thirsty, I think people tend to know that I'm not gonna not show their stuff off.
Now, have you gotten requests for offline? The natural progression. Let's call it club appearances or even physical studio appearances, that kind of stuff, paid or promotional. Are you there yet where you're getting those requests, or you're happy keeping Handy J online, hiding behind that? Like, where do you want to progress, or are you happy staying kind of where you're at?
I did my first live taping this morning, actually.
Oh, wow.
And followed by this podcast, which I've never done either. I've never done a podcast or a live taping, so that all happened just today, and I'm not sure how.
Well, you're going to be on iTunes in about 24 hours and Google Play, so you can do hashtag we made it.
It's all very new to me. Yeah. The live taping was a little weird. I didn't really like being on camera. I felt like it was distracting from what I had to say, but this isn't bad. I'm not enjoying speaking with you about whatever. So I mean, I'm definitely excited for whatever possibilities or opportunities it may lead to, but I'm not actively searching them out.
For the record, we reached out to her following probably some post about a penis and something or other, but we've reached out to Handy. Now, with that being said, what show was it? Are you comfortable sharing it? Can you share it?
It's called It's Complicated, and it's on AfterBuzzTV.com right now.
Sweet. All right, so you're growing. Has anybody ever asked you for an autograph yet?
Do people still ask for autographs?
Hell
I get a lot of please send a picture, but no one's asked for my physical signature. I don't even know if I'd sign as the Handy J or Jessica or what I would do.
Now, how many dick pics do you get a week, a day, a month?
I probably get 20 a day.
You get 20 dick pics a day?
Yeah.
All right. There's got to be. Okay, so now you're probably like a connoisseur of cock at this point. No, seriously, you've seen a lot of it. Well, so you're probably know what good penis looks like, right?
Yeah. I have an eye on my Snapchat. Oh, this is another source of revenue. I totally, if you're out this, I run a thing called Dictionary, DICK Dictionary. And if you send me your dick, I'll tell you what I think of it for $69.
You got to be. And people bought?
Yeah.
I can't. Now, there's got to be a time where the D looks good and you're like, I might want to see what's rest. Have you done that yet, or you kept it professional?
It doesn't matter how nice the dick is. If it's unsolicited, it's like every single time it's like a slap in the face. It's just, you just aren't expecting it, and it's also just such a weird, epidemic. It's hard to grasp how this makes sense or right. First of all, 9 times out of 10 they're gross, so I can't imagine anyone's getting that good of a reaction. But even if it's a nice one, I can't even imagine the person, given that I'm the Handy J and totally open to dicks, I can't even imagine the type of person that's like, wow, actually that's a nice one, come on over.
Well, all right. So, you got to settle. It's not an argument. It's more of a discussion between my girlfriend and I. She's attractive. She'll get some dick pics. I think most attractive women do, right? Now, right. But I wouldn't do it if it didn't work. I'm sorry, but if I said
right, you think it's got to be working, but also, I mean, we're in a generation, I know better than anyone else, that shame is very little these days. So what do they got? What do they have to lose? But I guess if you throw it out there enough, somebody's going to take the bait, I guess.
Yeah, so it's a numbers game. But would you agree? It's got to work for somebody sometime, because otherwise they wouldn't keep doing it. Do you agree with that? Or you're like, no, they get tired and it doesn't work ever. What do you think about that? Because it has to work at least sometimes.
I mean, it must be working somewhere, because, I mean, well, I don't know. I have some really stupid followers who just, I mean, who knows? and I really don't know. Some days people all post something and people are like, wow, you're going to get a lot of dick pics after that post. And like, it's quiet. Everybody leaves me alone. And then some days I'll be like, really? That inspired a bunch of dick pics? So I really don't know.
Got it. Now, all right. I promise I'll get you all soon, but I have so many questions to ask you. All right. Now, how about the hot guy, shirtless bathroom pic, unsolicited? Is it like, damn, you're like that hot? I'll reach back, or
If they're actually good looking, I actually do respond. Again, 90% of the time they're not. Most humans are not like universally attractive. So then like you have to be an attractive person anyway. If they are, I will write like, oh, hey, handsome. But I think it more throws them off guard because they probably are expecting like, most times when I respond to anyone, they're like, I cannot believe you responded. So
wow.
If I'm being nice, then it's really like, oh, I didn't have a follow-up.
Now, are you a little shallow where, like, you respond to the hotties? Or once you get legit, like, a regular guy, fireman, makes $40 a year, like, he's like a 6, but he has a puppy, and he's like, hey, listen, like, I know it's kind of weird. I'm reaching out to you. I normally don't do this, and he reaches out. Will you check out his profile and give him a chance? Or, like, you're just so shallow, you're just about looks? Like, walk us through that.
I mean, I try to answer every single person on Snapchat, but I'm not going to go out with someone unless I'm attracted to them. But I try to answer pretty much every single person, and usually I'm shooting blind because on Snapchat, like it's not like Instagram where I can go look up their pictures.
True. Best. We'll call it internet for now. Best internet-led date so far, and worst internet date so far.
Well, like 2 weeks ago, I don't know if you saw, but this guy sent me this like very backhanded compliment. Just like, hey, I'm going to be in the LA area, and I probably am really going to regret messaging you, but I'm like oddly attracted to you, even though you're disgusting, is pretty much what it said. And I was like, I am oddly aroused and yet completely turned off, like you fucking dick. And we met up for drinks and had like a great little night, and it was really funny. And nice. I was like Snapchatting it and Instagram storying it live. Like people were like, I can't believe you actually met up with him. And then I posted a picture of me and him together, and that was like, just been a really great.
Oh yeah, you like, posted with like, if I remember correctly, you posted with a guy, and people were like salty about it, right?
Yeah, I mean, yeah, people get jealous. People like to hate on it. Doesn't even matter. I could post with Brad Pitt, and they'd be like, really? I like George Clooney. Fuck that guy. People just like to hate.
Worse.
I mean, 9 times out of 10, people will message me like, you're not that attractive. I'm like, nobody was saying I was. But like, I mean, sure, but like, at least I'm not messaging strangers on the internet.
That's true. What worst internet date to date?
I like fell in love with this guy on Instagram, and that was pretty fucking terrible.
How? Whoa, walk us through that. So what, he messaged you and you went on a few dates? What happened?
Yeah, he messaged me and we started talking all the time, and I started to really like him, and he lives in New York and I lived in LA, and it didn't end up working out, and that sucked.
But you met up though, right?
Yeah.
And you courted for what? 2 weeks, 3 weeks, 4 months? What was the time period?
We probably talked like 3 months before we actually met up, and then he came out here for a week, and then we carried on for maybe 3 more months, and then it ended. So
you caught emotions, and he bounced?
Not like he bounced. It just wasn't going to work. It wasn't going to work. I think it was one of those things. It was never that serious, but it sucked because like, you meet these people, and you have like, I have an opportunity to meet a lot of people court me. So the shitty part is that you have a lot of great options, and they don't necessarily live near you or anything else.
And you went down the wrong path. Okay, I want to just kind of throw something out there because we're a very candid podcast. As the handy J, you could be the handy J from wherever, right? Meaning, if you like this guy, I'm like, holy shit, I can be handy J from New York, ratchet it up, probably make up for the income of lost wages for the day job. Did you think of it that way, or are you that anchored to LA?
I'm anchored to LA. My family's here, and literally lives on my block. So,
and what's your background?
I'm super close.
What's your background? Because that's like an Italian Greek thing. What's your background?
I'm Jewish, actually.
Okay, I can see that as well, because Italians and Jews have both overbearing mothers, pain in the ass families, and everything else, but they come from the right place,
Yeah, so both my brothers and my sister all live within 3 blocks, and So yeah, I'm staying here. I can't leave them.
Any room for spirituality, or you're more, you're obviously Jewish, but maybe not practicing, or really
I'm
spiritual?
not practicing, but like culturally, I like being a Jew.
Okay.
I like the traditions, and I like saying I'm Jewish.
So why didn't you get your nose done? Just kidding.
I got genetics. I got lucky. I don't know.
There you go. There you go. Well, listen, Handy J, this has been fun. This is not the last we heard from you. My only thing from the business perspective, up your rates. Because you know what, you have a great platform, and I love it. So, any parting words for the audience? Again, if they listened in 40 minutes in, they either love you, they're either interested on the business end, or you're going to probably get like a dead mouse mailed to you. So either way, they earned this advice. What advice do you have for ongoing Instagram marketers, and what parting words do you have?
Make friends. You could really do a lot of this without spending any money.
Sweet. This is the Handy J. This is definitely a one-of-a-kind interview. It'll be podcasted on iTunes, Google Play, soon to be Stitcher, and obviously on newtheory.com. Handy J, thanks for your time.